So good day everyone. Today we're going to discuss the last lecture for the midterms. So this will be included in your midterm exam. This is actually a two-part discussion. We're going to have the first one before the midterms and then the second part of this discussion after the midterm exam. So we have the perspective of psychology. So psychology can be defined as a field of social sciences that deals with the description, explanation, prediction, and control of behavior of a particular individual or of a person. It is also considered as the study of the mind and behavior. So under psychology, it actually gives us a glimpse on finding out or having a deeper understanding on finding out the causes of such acts or different behaviors. So it depends or it varies from person to person. So under this field, it gives us the deeper understanding on how an individual do such an act or perform such a behavior. So bakit ba siya laging mainitin ang ulo? Bakit ba mataas ang kanyang pride? Bakit ba ang kuripot niya? Bakit ba pag nakikita ko siya, lagi akong nababad vibes? Okay, so under this field, it gives us this deeper understanding on bakit sila ganon. Diba? Bakit sila laging ganon? Why do they do that? Why do they say that? Why do they behave with such a behavior? Okay? So it's very easy to judge a person, but if you're judging, since it's in our human nature to judge, diba? Di ba nga sabi nga ng saying, do not judge a book based on its cover. But since it's our human nature to judge, make sure that when you judge, you also investigate. Di ba? You find out the root of those actions and those behaviors. You don't just judge alone. You don't just judge and then period. So we have here William James. We're going to talk about his theory of the self, his 5 characteristics of known for his theory of the self. Then we're going to talk about his 5 characteristics of human thoughts, his concept about the me self and the I self, and then also, the 3 components of the me self. Okay, so let's start first with the 5 characteristics of human thoughts. So we have the first one. According to William James, human thoughts are owned by some personal self. Meaning to say, you own your own ideas, your own perspective, your own knowledge, your own thoughts. Okay, no one can ever take that away from you. So at the end of the day, people might tell you what to do, people might expect something from you, or the society might expect something from you, but at the end of the day, you always have to listen to your own thoughts. Diba? It's subconsciously happening. Sometimes you talk to yourself, so it is your own thought, your own subconscious. You're talking to yourself, so it's not a sign na ikaw ay may problema or something. It's just something that we have. Diba? It's just something that we do. Okay, so human thoughts are owned by some personal self. Kaya nga, diba, we have this expression na keep your thoughts to yourself. Okay? Let's say, for example, may nag-aaway or may nag-uusap, then you shared something, diba? Parang that is totally uncalled for, okay, or unexpected, na probably na-off yung mga nag-uusap, okay, or na-offend sila. So, keep your thoughts to yourself. Kasi nga, you own those thoughts. You own those ideas. Okay? So, don't tell anyone na you don't have an idea, diba? Or wala kang ma-share. Because you do. You do have. Meron ka. Number 2, all thoughts are consistently changing and are considered to be not static or stagnant. When we say static or stagnant, there's no development, there is no growth. So, naka-stay put lang siya. Okay? So, all thoughts are consistently changing. Remember, your idea or your thoughts when you were younger is much different when you were in elementary school, in high school, and now that you are in college. those thoughts and ideas or perspective or views, they actually change. Diba? When you were in elementary, you're more into toys or you're more into superheroes, cartoons, and then eventually when you move into high school, your thoughts change from cartoons to, let's say, movies, music, poems, or artistry, or sports. Okay? So, all thoughts are consistently changing and they are never static. So, kung ang hilig mo dati ay cartoons, and then nung tumanda ka, naging Marvel, DC, okay? So, they are still on the same genre. Diba? Parang cartoon, anime, superheroes. Okay? But still, it's changing, it's evolving. So, what more kapag ikaw ay matanda na, di ba? Kaya nga, di ba, we consider yung ating mga elderlies as the wisest. Okay? Kasi they have been collecting these thoughts or ideas since they were young. Okay? So, yung kanilang compilation of ideas and thoughts are numerous compared to us. Kaya nga they are considered as the wisest. Number 3, there is a continuity of thoughts as its focus shifts from one object to another. Okay? Example niyan, like what I mentioned kanina, is from kids or toddlers or elementary days. You're more into cartoons, you're more into animes, and then when you were growing up, di ba, from cartoons, animes, naging mature superheroes, di ba? Nagkaroon ka na ng Marvel, you're into Iron Man, you're into Superman, or DC, di ba? If you're into Superman, or Batman, or Aquaman, or Wonder Woman, okay? Still, same genre, same field, di ba? Superheroes. But there is a shift or a paradigm shift involved, di ba? You are not that enticed anymore when it comes to cartoons or to animes, okay? But you're still looking for that same taste of superheroic actions. Kaya you're still looking for it. Diba? Hinahanap-hanap mo pa rin. But you've changed from cartoons to Marvel or DC. Or let's say, for example, when you were younger, you're focused more on reading children books. Diba? Books with pictures or big books with big letters. And then, as you mature, diba, naging high school ka, naging college ka, naging young adult ka, you're more into novels, okay, young adult books, diba? Yung mga Hunger Games, okay? So from Harry Potter to Hunger Games, so from children to young adult books. So that is a sign that there is a continuity, diba? Kumbaga yung taste mo when it comes to reading changes, but you still love to read. There's a continuity of thoughts. Okay? Probably your preference when it comes to music, diba? When you were younger, you're into loud music, you're into metal rock music, and then when you've reached the age of high school, college, young adult stage, you're more into pop, you're more into K-pop, diba? So there's a continuity of thoughts. There's a paradigm shift from one to another. Number 4, thoughts deals with objects that are different form and independent of consciousness itself. So for number 4, it mentioned objects that are different form and independent of consciousness. So probably you are attached to a particular object. Let's say you have this favorite book. Okay, you've read it millions of times, but still kabisado mo na per page, di ba? You know what will happen. You know who's the protagonist, who's the antagonist, sino ang bida, sino ang kontrabida, kung mamamatay ba yung bida or whatsoever. But still, you still keep reading it, and then you just actually keep it with you. Okay? So that is somewhat attaching yourself to a particular object. It could be a book, it could be a dress, it could be a shoe, sorry. It could be a person, diba? You're attached to a particular person, your best friend from elementary, your best friend from high school. So thoughts deals with objects that are different form and independent of consciousness itself. in layman's term, parang it's something that represents you. Diba? It's something that's very close to you, that's very near your heart, and it's something that represents you. Yung kapag nakita ng tao, ano yan, gusto ni ganito yan. Libro, gusto ni ganito yan. Gitara, si ano, mahilig. Uy, bola ng basketball, naalala ko si ano. Diba? Uy, Rose, naalala ko si ano kasi nagbigay siya sa akin. Uy, Chicken Joy, si ano, mahilig sa ganyan. So, it's something that you, yourself, or any particular person can remember you based from that object alone or based from an individual alone. Diba? Or, nasan yung best friend mo? Diba? Lagi kayo magkasama. Okay. And then number 5, consciousness can focus on particular objects and not others. When we say consciousness focuses on particular objects, it is somewhat related to number 4, wherein you are attaching yourself to a particular item. Okay? Let's say, for example, for number 5, your favorite genre of books is more into, let's say, fictional. Okay? Fictional books about, let's say, fantasy or something. So, meaning to say, people can't remember you if they see books that are different from fictional fantasy. Diba? Or let's say, for example, you're a person that is very close or uses a brand of pen. Let's say, lagi mong gamit ay GTEC. So, an individual or a person, or probably your classmates, will not identify any brand of pen related to you unless it is a GTEC pen or a pilot pen or whatever kind of pen. Okay, so meaning to say it is solely attached to you. Okay, na kahit may kapareho pa yan, you cannot relate to those na similar dun sa gusto mo na material thing, okay, or a person, diba? So those are the 5 characteristics of human thoughts. Okay, let's now go to the concept me, self, and the I, self. When we say me, self, it is considered as an individual that the person refers to when discussing or describing their own personal experiences. Okay, when we say describing their personal experiences, it has already been already been experienced or based from the experience, or already been tested. So we have here an example. The gifts were sent to me, or the award was given to me. Meaning to say, you were not actually involved in the process. You were included, but you were not involved in the actual process. Diba? Pinadalan ka ng regalo. You were not involved in the process. Diba? Binigyan ka lang. An award was given to me. So, you were not involved in the process, but you were included. Diba? Binigyan ka ng award. So, that is the me, self. So, something that is experienced or something that is already been tested on. And then the I, self that knows and recognizes who they are and what they have done. Okay, for the I self, this is the part where you are actually involved. Kaya nga I. Okay, so I ate the last pie yesterday. Sino yung kumain? Ikaw. You were involved. You were included. I was literally broken since last month. So who was broken? Probably financially broken or a heartbroken man. So who was broken? Ikaw. I was literally broken since last month. So you were included and then you were involved. You participated in the process. Okay, ayan. So for the me self, it is the empirical me. When we say empirical, something that is experienced. And then when we say I self, or the pure ego, it is similar to the person's soul or mind. Okay? So to simplify, para hindi maguluhan, when we say I self, it is something that you do on your own. Kung ikaw mismo yung involved, ikaw yung kasali, ikaw yung gumawa. Kaya nga ako. Pag sinabing me self, or the empirical me, It is something that you are included, but you did not actually participated. Okay? You are included, but you did not actually participated. Okay. Then last one, we have the three components of the me self. We have the material self, the social self, and the spiritual self. Remember the five characteristics of thoughts kanina? You can attach yourself to a particular person or to a particular item. Okay, it's because of this. The components of the me self. So first one, we have the material self. Consists of the things or objects that belong to the person or entities that a person belongs to. Okay, so these are the items that you truly value, something that you possess with high value. Okay, it can be in the form of gadgets, it can be in the form of clothes, accessories, recreational items, books, guitars, something that you can use for sports. Okay, it can be your eyeglass, it can be a ring, it can be a ball, it can be a shoe, it can be a nap. No. It can be a handkerchief. Okay, so that is your material self. Okay, so all of us, we all have our own material self. Diba? Like for example, ako, I love reading books. I'm so much into books, so I consider my material self as a book. Okay, so I'm so attached to it, and then when people see me or sees books, they actually remember me. Okay, so that is actually my material self. Some na kapag nakita ng tao, diba? Kapag nakakita sila ng suklay, uy, si ganito, mahilig lagi magsuklay or lagi may dalang suklay. Okay, it could actually stand as your material self, something that you are very much attached to. Okay, for majority of my students, when we discussed this, I think that was last year. Okay, most of their material self or material things or material things that represents them are more into gadgets, but also others. There are others na nagulat ako when they presented the kasi we had an activity. Nagulat ako kasi some of them, even the guys, they are very sentimental. Okay? So, yung mga lalaking estudyante, they are very sentimental. So, nagulat din ako actually doon sa mga bagay na present nila in front of the class that represents their material self. Okay? Sorry. Okay. So to continue, material self, it is the body as the core of material self and everything that is attached or associated to its identities. The more attached and identified the person is to his material self, the more he or she will be affected if any of them changes. Diba? Let's say, for example, someone took your favorite clothes, your favorite shoes, your favorite book. Diba? Magagalit ka, mainis ka kasi you're attached to it. Diba? It seems like it's a part of your personality. It's a part of your character, your individuality. If you're familiar with Harry Potter, di ba, yung parang mga Horcruxes ni Lord Voldemort, so that is the best example of a material self. Next, we have the social self. So refers to who the person is in particular social situation, and then changes in situation results from different social scenarios or social situations. So when we say refers to who the person is in particular social situation, this is who you are when you present yourself to others. Diba? Kasi sometimes we are different kapag ang kaharap natin ay ang ating kaibigan. Iba ang ating actions, iba ang ating behavior kapag ang kausap natin ay kaibigan sa school. Iba rin naman kapag ang kausap natin ay kaibigan outside of school. Diba? Yung mga barkada mo or kalaro mo sa lugar ninyo, diba? Yung mga kababata mo. Also, you are different when it comes talking to your teachers. Diba? Iba yung respect mo sa teacher mo, parang Iba rin naman yung respect mo sa parents mo. Okay? Also, the use of words, the use of gestures. Okay? All of those is under the social self. So, you change your behavior or your actions based on sino ang kasama mo. Okay? Also with your environment. Diba? Nag-iiba. So it depends. It actually depends. It actually depends on the environment, what is needed by the environment, and also who are the individuals that you are with. Okay? And then, the person chooses the self that would smoothly adapt to the social situation in order for him to fit in. Okay. Of course, diba, in order for you to remain friends, you have to adapt, you have to fit in. Kung sila ay mahilig, let's say, mahilig silang mag-basketball, diba, you have to try to do basketball also kasi you have to fit in. So, kahit naman alam mo sa sarili mo na hindi ka magaling mag-basketball, you haven't touched a ball, okay, your entire life kasi more on gadgets ka lang, more on nasa bahay ka lang, you will try in order for you to fit in. So that is an example of social self. Okay? Or let's say, for example, your classmates, they tend to eat outside more than eating sa loob ng school or sa canteen. So in order for you to fit in, diba, you have to adapt, you have to change a little depending on your environment, depending on the person surrounding you. So, kung mahilig silang kumain sa, let's say, sa mall, instead of kumain sa canteen para makatipid, di ba, you will try to fit in. Okay? So, pwede natin isama dito ang, I wouldn't say social climber, pero someone who is trying to fit in. Yan, much better. Diba? Kasi pag social climber, parang very negative agad yung feedback ng thoughts mo, di ba? Pag narinig mo yung word na social climber, it's quite negative. Okay? So, an individual who is trying to fit in. Okay? So, that is under the social self. So, the material self, something that you are attaching yourself to. And then you have the social self, how you present yourself, depending on the environment and on the individual surrounding you. And then the last one, we have the spiritual self. When we say spiritual self, self that is more concrete or permanent when compared to the material and social selves. This is also considered as the most subjective. When you say subjective, it's a general concept. Wala siyang specific or concrete definition. So most subjective or criteria. So most subjective and intimate part of the me self. It includes individuals' personality, values, and morals that are usually stable and pretty much constant. It is always engaging in the process of introspection, or also known as self-observation. Of course, since we're dealing with the spiritual self, or your personality, your own values, and your own morals, okay, you can actually observe if you are doing good, if you're doing fine, okay ba ako, nakasama, diba? Kapag ba kasama ako, para ba akong pabigat sa iba? Or pag ba kasama ako, parang lagi na lang ang hassle for others. Okay, you can do your own self-observation or introspection. Okay? So once you do your self-observation or your introspection sa sarili mo, diba, you can actually change a little. Diba? Sabi nga ni Michael Jackson, diba? Man in the mirror. So you always start with the man in the mirror. Sino ba yung man in the mirror? Siyempre, ikaw. Pag tumingin ka sa salamin, sino ba nakikita mo? Siyempre, yourself. Diba? So kung meron kang kailangan baguhin, kailangan i-adjust when it comes to your personality, masyado ka bang strong? Masyado ka bang mataray? Maingay ka ba? Are people easily intimidated by you? Okay? Do you still respect your elders, your teachers, someone that is superior? Okay? So you can do introspection. So self-observation, you can adjust on your own, diba? Do not wait for others to tell you. Of course, it's good na merong magsasabi sa'yo or merong magpapayo sa'yo na, uy, alam mo, masyado kang aggressive or alam mo, mali yung nagawa mo kanina. Dapat ikaw mismo, mayroon ka ng sariling self-observation. Okay? Kapag may nagawa ka, alam mo na sa sarili mo na, ay, ako yung mali. So, kung ako yung mali, I have to say sorry. Diba? Reflecting outward and inward to study and understand, and then looking inward is more important than satisfying the needs of material or social selves. That's why amongst the three, spiritual self is the core of the me self. Okay? Kasi it includes your personality, your values, and your morals. So it doesn't just reflect on your physical actions or on your behavior. It should also reflect on your mind or subconscious. Diba? Kasi if you are spiritually good inside, diba? Subconsciously good inside, then it will reflect outside. Okay? Kung mabuti yung iniisip mo, mabuti rin yung gagawin at sasabihin mo. Diba? Okay, so thank you for listening. So that is the last lecture for the midterms. Just like what I've mentioned, this is a two-part discussion. So the second one will be discussed after the midterm exam. Okay, so since this is the last lecture for the midterms, also I'm going to announce also the last requirement for the midterms. Okay, so for the last requirement for the midterms, so this is again going to be submitted through our Google Classroom. Ayan, balikan natin si material self. Okay, so using your Microsoft Word or you can use the Google Docs, the Google Documents. Okay, I'm going to post it under our classwork, and then the submission will be November 7. So all deadlines of the requirements will be November 7. So, for the last requirement for the midterms, regarding the material self, I want you to think, okay, so kapag napanood nyo na yung video, pag natapos nyo na yung discussion, yung aking lecture, I want you to think of something that you value the most, okay, something, an item, or in any things that you value the most in which you think is your material self, something that represents you. Okay? Something that represents you. Something na kapag nakita ng ibang tao, ng parents mo, ng kapatid mo, ng kaibigan mo, maaalala ka nila. So that is your material self. Okay? So after watching this lecture, I want you to think of your material self. Isa lang. Just one. Okay? So take a picture of that material self. Okay? Mas maganda sana a selfie picture kung di naman siya ganun kalaki. Okay, so maganda kasama kayo plus your materials para makilala ko rin kayo kasi I still don't know you. I'm just seeing your pictures on our GC and on our Google Classroom. So hindi ko pa rin kayo ganun kakilala. Okay, so again, think of any item or thing that will be or that you consider your material self. Take a picture with it. Kung kaya, selfie. Kung hindi, edi malayuan. Basta kasama kayo dun sa picture of that material self. Kasi baka mamaya ang inyong material self ay motor, di ba? Baka motor or bike, baka rep or TV, I'm not sure. Okay? So take a picture of your material self, and then after taking a picture on your Microsoft Word and then Google Docs, post the picture, and then on a paragraph form, just state there, why do you consider this item or this thing as your material self? Okay. And then, why do people remind them of you when they see this item or this thing? Diba? Yung nakikita nila ito, bakit kanila maaalala? Okay. And then, sabi ko nga kanina, why do you consider this item your material self? Okay. So I'm going to post this on our Google Classroom. I'm going to post the submission for the requirement on our Google Classroom. So all deadlines again is November 7. Okay, so that's it for our midterms. I'm going to upload the midterm exam Tuesday next week. Okay, probably around 7 or 8 a.m. So Tuesday next week. And then the deadline will be again November 7 also. So all requirements deadline is November 7. Okay. So if you have questions, clarifications, suggestions, or comments regarding this lecture, kindly use our Google Classroom or our group chat sa ating messenger. Okay, and then if I have time and then mabasa ko siya, I will answer it ASAP. Okay. So I'll see you after the midterms. Stay safe and God bless.